I'm curious about the Zuma-2 trial. I know that you're an investigator on that trial. So if you could talk a little bit about the drug, what it targets, how it works in the body, and where things are with that study so far.
Sure. So Zuma-2 is a clinical trial looking at a CAR T-cell product that targets CD19, which is a antigen on a lot of lymphomas, in this case, mantle cell lymphoma. The trial was in patients who have had multiple prior therapies for their mantle cell lymphoma and were really no longer responding. So in this trial, we administered CAR T cells to these patients, and after giving them some what's called lymphodepleting chemotherapy, and then infused the CAR T cells into the patients, and it was really pretty remarkable outcomes for this group of patients. First, a little bit about what a CAR T cell is. So a CAR T cell is a white blood cell, a lymphocyte that is harvested from the blood of a patient. It's then sent to a central manufacturing facility where a gene is inserted into the CAR T cell to into the lymphocyte, to have the lymphocyte activated as well as target the lymphoma. In this case, it's targeting that antigen called CD19 that's present on most B-cell lymphomas, all mantle cell lymphoma, and many other types of lymphoma as well. So it's a really exciting development in the treatment of all lymphomas and certain forms of leukemia. It had previously been shown, a similar CAR T-cell product had similarly been shown to be very effective in patients with an aggressive form of lymphoma known as large cell lymphoma. And studies in that patient population led to the approval of CAR T cells for patients with diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, who are also similarly they're not really responding to any agents anymore. The therapy had really run the course of what conventional treatments. And in that patient population, there was about a 40% what looks like long-term cure rate for that patient population. So really fabulous results in large cell lymphoma. And so in this trial, Zuma-2, we're hoping to see whether similar activity for patients with, again, very difficult to treat mantle cell lymphoma, patients who already had standard of care therapies such as a Bruton's tyrosine kinase inhibitor and chemoimmunotherapy. And we saw very remarkable results. There was 2/3 of patients achieved a complete remission in this study. And the follow-up is relatively short, but in a subgroup of patients that have been followed for more than 2 years, about 40% of patients remain in remission. So really, I think spectacular news for these patients.
And this, so this would be the first CAR T-cell product that would be available to patients with mantle cell lymphoma?
Right, this would be the first CAR T-cell product that's available for mantle cell lymphoma patients. We hope to see the FDA approval sometime this summer. It's been submitted to the FDA for approval, and they have certain timelines that the FDA has to make. And based on that, we know that we should hear sort of the latest by August whether this drug will be approved, this therapy will be approved.
Wow, okay. Anything else that people should know about this particular study?
I think the other thing to know is when anybody's looking at any kind of therapy is, well, what are the risks and benefits of this? And it sounds wonderful giving someone, augmenting the immune system, harnessing the immune system to fight the cancer, which is really what this is doing. But it does have side effects, and those side effects are sometimes scary. There's something called cytokine release syndrome, where basically, as I explain it to patients, it's like someone's getting the worst flu of their life. I mean, sometimes they can have fevers as high as 104. But when you think about it, that's kind of what we're wanting. We want the immune system to be turned on. We want it to go after the lymphoma, what it thinks is foreign. And we've learned to adjust. We've learned to really have better ways of decreasing those side effects now by using other medications to decrease the incidence of cytokine release, the severity of cytokine release syndrome. The other toxicity is called neurological toxicity or neurotoxicity. And can be very disturbing to patients and their family members because sometimes it can range from just being a little bit sleepy to people being in a full coma. Luckily, nobody died in this study from this, but and we're getting better at, at intervening earlier to decrease the severity of neurologic toxicity. And so the vast majority of patients, it's reversible, but it's definitely something to talk with their doctor about if patients considering this.